Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our English Learning Story channel. Today we are going to listen to an exciting story called My First Bicycle Ride. This story is perfect for beginners and intermediate English learners. You will learn useful English vocabulary, daily expressions, and valuable life lessons about courage, determination, and never giving up. So relax, listen carefully, and enjoy today's story. Let's begin. My name is Alex, and one of the most unforgettable experiences of my childhood was learning how to ride a bicycle. Today, riding a bicycle feels easy and natural, but there was a time when I could barely balance on two wheels. Learning to ride taught me an important lesson about patience, determination, and believing in myself. Whenever I see children learning to ride bicycles, I remember my own journey and smile. It all started during my summer vacation when I was 10 years old. Many children in my neighborhood already knew how to ride bicycles. Every afternoon, I watched them race along the streets, laughing and enjoying themselves. They looked happy and confident. Sometimes they performed small tricks, while other times they simply rode around together. As I watched them, I felt a little jealous. I wanted to join them. I wanted to experience the freedom of riding a bicycle. Unfortunately, I did not know how. One evening, while eating dinner, I finally gathered the courage to ask my parents, "Dad, can you teach me how to ride a bicycle?" I asked. My father smiled. "Of course." "Really?" "Yes," he replied, "but learning will take time and practice." I nodded eagerly. "I'll practice every day." A few days later, my father brought home a bicycle that belonged to my cousin. It was blue with black tires and looked perfect to me. The moment I saw it, I became excited. I immediately climbed onto the seat. Unfortunately, I quickly discovered that riding a bicycle was much harder than it looked. The bicycle wobbled from side to side. I struggled to keep my balance. Within seconds, I nearly fell over. My father caught the bicycle before I hit the ground. "Slowly," he said with a laugh. "Learning takes time." The next morning, we went to a large open field near our house. The area was perfect because there were no cars and plenty of space. My father stood beside me and explained the basics. "Look forward," he said. "Keep your balance. Don't be afraid." His instructions sounded simple. Actually, doing them was another story. As soon as I started moving, the bicycle leaned to one side. A few seconds later, I fell. Fortunately, I landed on the grass. It didn't hurt much, but I felt embarrassed. My father helped me stand up. "Try again." I got back on the bicycle. This time I made it a little farther. Then I fell again. The process repeated itself over and over. Ride, wobble, fall, stand up, try again. After nearly an hour, I felt tired and frustrated. "I can't do it," I said. My father sat beside me. "Do you think I learned in one day?" I shook my head. "No. Everyone falls when they learn." His words encouraged me, so I continued practicing. Day after day, we returned to the field. Each day I improved slightly. At first, I could only ride a few meters. Then I could ride farther. Eventually, I started balancing for longer periods. One afternoon, something incredible happened. My father was holding the back of the bicycle as usual. I began pedaling. The bicycle moved smoothly across the field. I focused on looking straight ahead. Everything felt stable. Then I heard my father's voice from behind. Alex! I turned slightly. My father was standing far away. He was no longer holding the bicycle. For several seconds, I had been riding completely on my own. Excitement rushed through my body. "I'm doing it!" I shouted. Then I became distracted. A moment later, I lost my balance and fell. But this time, I didn't care. I jumped up and started laughing. For the first time, I had ridden a bicycle by myself. That small success changed everything. My confidence grew. I practiced even harder. Within a few days, I could ride comfortably around the neighborhood. Soon I was riding with my friends. The feeling was amazing. The wind touched my face. The streets seemed full of adventure. For the first time, I understood why my friends loved riding so much. One Saturday morning, several friends invited me to join a bicycle ride to a nearby lake. I was excited but also nervous. The distance was farther than I had ever traveled before. What if I can't keep up, I wondered. Still, I decided to try. Early that morning, we gathered at the edge of the neighborhood. There were 6 boys in total. Everyone checked their bicycles before leaving. Then we started riding. The journey was beautiful. We passed green fields, small farms, and quiet roads. Birds flew through the sky. The fresh morning air felt wonderful. Along the way, we talked, laughed, and shared stories. For the first time, I felt like part of the group. A few months earlier, I had been the only boy who couldn't ride a bicycle. Now I was riding alongside my friends. When we finally reached the lake, the view was breathtaking. The water sparkled under the sunlight. Trees surrounded the area, creating a peaceful atmosphere. We sat near the water, ate snacks, and enjoyed the day. As I looked at my bicycle beside me, I felt proud. Not because I owned a bicycle, but because I had learned something difficult. I had faced fear and frustration. I had fallen many times. I had wanted to quit, yet I kept going. That evening, after returning home, my father asked about the trip. "It was amazing," I said. "I rode all the way to the lake." He smiled. "I knew you could do it." I smiled too. Then I remembered all the falls, all the mistakes, and all the practice sessions. Without those difficult moments, success would not have felt so rewarding. Years later, I still remember my first bicycle ride. The lesson remains with me. Whenever I face a challenge, I think about learning to ride. I remember how impossible it seemed at first. I remember how many times I failed. And I remember that success finally came because I refused to give up. Life is often like riding a bicycle. Sometimes we lose balance, sometimes we fall, sometimes progress feels slow, but if we keep moving forward, we eventually improve. The important thing is not avoiding failure. The important thing is getting back up after every fall. That simple bicycle taught me one of the most valuable lessons of my life. Believe in yourself. Keep practicing, never give up, and sooner or later, you will reach your destination. Thank you for listening to today's English learning story. I hope you enjoyed my first bicycle ride and learned useful English vocabulary and expressions. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Success comes from practice, patience, and determination. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more English learning stories. See you in the next story. Goodbye.